There is a date on the British calendar that almost nobody circles in red, and yet it quietly decides whether thousands of people retire comfortable or retire counting the pennies. That date is the 5th of April. Every single year, at midnight, a door swings shut, and on the other side of that door is money, real money, yours. Here is what almost nobody tells you. The government has opened a digital window, a fast, quiet, almost invisible online service that lets you reach back into your own past and buy back the years you never quite finished. Years where you were between jobs. Years where you were raising kids, or traveling, or earning just a little too little. And when you run the numbers on what it costs versus what it pays back, the maths is so good, it genuinely feels like a mistake. It isn't a mistake. It's a loophole hiding in plain sight, and in 2026, it is quietly closing a little more with every year that slips by. Grab a cup of tea. In the next 4 minutes, I'm going to show you the hidden goldmine sitting inside your own national insurance record. Let's start with what actually changed. For decades, if you wanted to check your state pension or fill a gap, you had exactly one option: the phone. You'd ring the future pension centre, sit in a queue that felt like it was measured in geological time, get passed across to HMRC, then hang up and give up. That era is over. The Department for Work and Pensions and HMRC now run a service simply called Check Your State Pension. You log in with your government account, and in about 90 seconds, you can see 3 things that used to be a total mystery. Exactly how much state pension you're on track for, precisely which years in your record have gaps, and, this is the leap, a button that lets you pay off those gaps then and there. No phone call, no forms in the post. You can see the hole and fill the hole in the very same sitting. Now here's where I have to be straight with you, because there's a myth doing the rounds. You may have heard that you can reach all the way back to 2006 and buy back 19 years of gaps. That was true. It is not true anymore. That special extended window was a one-off, tied to the launch of the new state pension, and it slammed shut for good on the 5th of April, 2025. If someone is still telling you to grab those ancient years, they're reading you a script from last year. Here's what's actually true in 2026, and honestly, it's still a goldmine. You can fill any gap in the last 6 tax years. That's your window. 6 years, rolling forward. And that word rolling is the whole game, because every 5th of April, the oldest year in that window drops off the edge and is gone forever. You don't get it back, so the 6-year door isn't one deadline. It's a deadline that fires every single year, quietly deleting your oldest chance while you're not even looking. Think of it like this. Imagine you hold a library card for a single book, and the book is titled A Comfortable Retirement. You've had it out for years, but you missed a few subscription payments along the way. A year here, a year there. The library is being generous. They'll let you clear those late fees for a few £100s a year, and the moment you do, that book is yours to keep forever. Ignore the fines, though, and here's the cruel part. The library doesn't chase you. They just wait. And the day you turn 67 and finally reach for the book, they quietly take it off the shelf. So let's talk about those late fees, because this is the part that turns heads. One full voluntary year, a Class 3 contribution, costs you £923 in the 2025 to 2026 tax year. That's it, one payment. And what does that one payment buy? Roughly £340 every year for the rest of your life. And because of something we'll get to in a second, that £340 actually grows every single year after that. Sit with that ratio for a moment. You hand over about £900 once. You get back around £340 a year, forever. Which means the whole thing pays for itself in under 3 years of retirement. After that, pure profit. If you live 20 years past your pension age, and most people now do, that single £900 payment can turn into the better part of £8,000 of extra income. There is not a savings account, not a bond, not a SIPP, not an ISA on this earth that hands you a return like that with zero risk. It's underwritten by the British state. Picture your working life as a long motorway, the pensions highway. Every year you work is a toll you've already paid, and each paid toll keeps the gate at the far end open. But say you missed 5 booths back in your 20s. You drove straight through. Now here's the choice. Pay the back toll today for a few £100s each, and the gate at the end of the road stays wide open for the rest of your journey. Skip it, and when you finally reach that gate in retirement, it's down, and you're forced onto the Poverty Detour, a long, grinding diversion that runs for 20 years with no slip road back onto the main road. Now, why does every filled year matter more in 2026 than it did 5 years ago? One reason: the triple lock. This is the government's promise that the state pension rises every April by whichever is highest, average wage growth, inflation, or 2.5%. This April, wage growth won, and the pension jumped by 4.8%. The full new state pension is now £241.30 a week. That's £12,548 a year. For the first time in history, it's pushing right up against 12,500. Here's why that rewrites your maths. Every gap year you fill isn't a fixed little lump. It's a slice of a pension that ratchets upward every single year under the triple lock. You're not just buying £340. You're buying a share of an income the government has promised to keep growing, and there's a second clock ticking too. The cost of a top-up itself rises on the 6th of April, 2026, from £17.75 a week to £18.40 a week for every year of it. So the same gap gets more expensive to fill the longer you wait. Cheaper today, dearer tomorrow. That's the quiet rule change nobody put on the evening news. Let me make it dead simple. Your full state pension is a puzzle with 35 pieces, 35 qualifying years. Slot all 35 in, and you get the complete picture, the full pension. Say you're sitting on 30 pieces. The government is holding a small box with your missing 5 inside it. They'll sell them to you, but only the ones that still fall inside that 6-year window. And every midnight, on the 5th of April, one of those pieces gets lifted out of the box and thrown away. The picture never completes on its own. You have to reach for the box before the clock runs out. Now, before you rush off and start throwing money at your record, stop. This is not a yes for everyone, and anyone who tells you it is doesn't actually understand it. Here's who should probably not top up. First, if you're young and still working, and you're comfortably on track to hit 35 years by the time you retire anyway, don't pay for gaps. You'll fill them naturally through work, and paying now just hands the government money for a year you were going to earn for free. Second, if you already have 35 qualifying years, extra contributions add nothing. The pension caps out. You'd be buying a puzzle piece for a puzzle that's already finished. Third, if your health or family history sadly means you don't expect a long retirement, the very thing that makes this bulletproof, living long enough to collect for years, simply doesn't apply. And fourth, some people can earn qualifying years for free through national insurance credits for raising children, caring for someone, or claiming certain benefits. Always hunt for free credits before you pay a single penny. So the golden rule is this: never pay first and check later. Log in to check your state pension, look at your forecast. If it already says you're heading for the full amount, close the laptop and pour yourself a drink. You're done. If it shows a shortfall and filling a gap actually moves that forecast number up, then, and only then, does the goldmine open for you. And if it's a complicated case, an old contracted out pension, years spent abroad, one free call to the Future Pension Centre before you pay can save you from buying a year that does absolutely nothing. So here's the lesson, and it's a quiet one. In 2026, some of the wealthiest retirements in Britain won't belong to the people who picked the cleverest stocks or timed the market. They'll belong to ordinary people who spent one single afternoon on a government website, found the gaps in their own record, and closed them before the 5th of April took them away for good. That's it. One afternoon, a few £100s, and a lifetime of extra, rising, guaranteed income on the other side. Think of it as the ultimate gift, not to anyone else, but to your own future self. The version of you that's 67, kettle on, opening a pension letter with a number on it bigger than it had any right to be, all because the you of today reached for the box before the clock hit midnight. Check your record, close your gaps, and give future you the comfortable retirement they're quietly counting on you to protect. If you learned something, like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.